Good morning. More lists for Operation Langley Storm. Here we go. This one is from Chris. So let's see what Chris is doing. I've been promised some American stuff. Right. So it is a US reinforced platoon. It's 14 order dice, 999 points. 14 order dice. Very good. So he brings a first lieutenant. I'm not sure why you would bring an inexperienced first lieutenant. It's still 60 points. So it's an expensive lieutenant. You're doing that because you want to do more Snap 2, I guess. But he's pretty likely to die. If you're going to save points, bring a second lieutenant. The only reason to bring a first one is to do the Snap 2, the extra Snap 2. And I don't think that is worth it. Not for 25 points, which is what you're paying right now. Rangers. Ooh. Now, Rangers are nice because they have the Rangers lead the way, the extra move at the start of the game. But they are an expensive unit. They're a push unit where you push up into the enemy's half of the board. And they are equipped as such here, although they are over-equipped. Look at this. So he's got 2 riflemen, he's got an NCO with a submachine gun, he's got 2 submachine guns, he's got a BAR, and he's got a light machine gun. Yeah, that's too much equipment. The light machine gun is, unless you have in your pack special rules that allow light machine guns to give out extra pins or something, or that the light machine guns are free, they're not worth it. You already have range with the BAR, and the rest is just short range push factors. Light machine guns don't belong in push units. They belong in rear line units, if they belong at all. So the build of this Ranger squad is just off. You don't need the extra range. You're already pushing into the center of the table. And you don't need the extra shots because you're taking away 2 shots from riflemen. Right. US Marines, 3 BARs. Now, this is a strong unit. They've got submachine guns, meaning that you've got 6 men with tough fighter. And you've got 1 man that's a casualty that you can just throw away once you get shot at. Really strong skirmish unit. I'm releasing a video on the best skirmish units, sorry. Yeah. And I think it came out yesterday from when I'm recording this, and these American Marines are in the top bracket. They're veteran, they're stubborn, so they're very, very survivable. They've got the range, they've got the gear. 3 BARs, they can definitely put the pins on other units and give casualties. I like it. I really like it. It is expensive, but not overly so for a 7-man veteran unit with gear. Air Observer. These are more worth it for Americans. In general, airplanes are not worth it, mostly because you can hit yourself. But Americans do get to fire it twice, although I think the rule is you can only have fired it once, then it needs to come on before you can fire the second one. So there can be a bit of delay there, but you can fire it twice. What you need to have happen, though, is you need to not have flak in your own army. You haven't got it yet, but that needs to continue. At 75 points, it is sort of worth it. It's just the most competitive players dislike using it for that reason, that you can hit yourself. Then we have 2 veteran engineer squads. again, spending the points, but these are good, survivable as well. They need something to transport them. 5-man teams here. Then we get the medium machine guns. Oh, sorry. They don't really need to be regular. If I remember correctly, did Langley Storm have the jugger rule for pins? I can't remember right now. If it does, yes, take them, but take them inexperienced. If it doesn't, no reason to take them at all. They're definitely not worth the points if you're not getting extra pins from these guys. 50 points. You can buy a pintle-mounted MMG on a Dodge truck for cheaper than this, and that's movable, not fixed. So, of course, you'll get flack for it, but yeah, well, it's just not worth it. I would rather have extra men in your infantry units than this. Bazooka, yes, definitely worth it. Medium artillery piece, yes, also worth it. With a spotter, yes. And a darker steward, yep, also worth it. Look at that, 130 points. The only thing I would do here is I would add a recce to it, because you're playing Americans, you can get recce on them. You should. Just makes it way more usable. A Jeep, that is for the bazooka. Dodge truck, yes. Inexperienced, they are for the engineers, for lurking in the back line and then just pushing up the engineers to do the barbecue run. That all seems perfectly valid. So the list seems sensible enough. I would not do this. At least push them down to inexperienced. That would also give you the points for the stewards, and that's get that recce, right? We can debate whether or not the Air Force Observer is worth it, but since you don't have any flak yourself, I think, yeah, you can do this and get away with it. And it's also just fun, isn't it? It is. I am not sure what it is that you want to snap to for the officer here. I don't see any units that would need that. You can't snap to the engineers, they're going to be in the Dodge trucks, so you can't snap to stuff that's in a truck. You can snap to the trucks and run both of them up, but I don't know why you would. It's more important to get the engineers out. So I'm not really sure what that first lieutenant is going to do. Maybe someone in the comments can tell me what your idea with that lieutenant would be. For me, he is not necessary and not useful. One thing that I would add is you have a lot of skirmishers units here, right? The Marines, they're skirmishers. The Rangers, they're push units. All of that is going to push up, and with the amount of backline units that you have, your machine gun teams and your artillery, try to make sure that you don't get in your own way. That's something that happens quite a lot for people, that they go out and they go into the middle of the board where they need to be, they start shooting, they start doing the work, and then they suddenly discover, well, I'm in front of my howitzer, right? So he can't shoot. That would be a thing. Right. It's very early morning for me here. I'm sorry about the yawning, not because I was bored with the list. Chris, thank you so much for the list, and to everyone going to Langley Storm, good luck to you guys. That was it for me today. Cheers.